Good evening guys, welcome to another MOTOBOB video. So the last few months I've been test riding a few bikes, and last week I posted a video as well about my favourite of those bikes to ride in the city. So inevitably I've had a few questions asking whether I'm thinking about getting a new bike or not. And of course it's really tempting when you're riding all of these awesome bikes. And also the other thing is that some of the finance deals that you can get at the moment make it even more tempting as well. So in particular PCP is quite popular at the moment, and that's where you put a deposit down, you pay a certain monthly amount, normally for 36 months, and then at the end you can decide whether to keep the bike and pay off the rest of it, or put the bike down as a deposit on another new bike from the same dealer, or I think you can just give it back as well. So it seems like a pretty good deal, and that has to be high in the list of pros of getting a new bike, is that you don't actually need to put down a big deposit nowadays. You can put down 100 quid at some dealers. So a new bike, 100 quid, and then 36 payments of like £100 each, and then you decide what to do at the end. And I guess sometimes it is pretty great to own a brand new bike. When you buy used, there's always a doubt in your mind that there might be something wrong with the bike that you haven't been told about, especially if you buy private and not from a dealer, so you can't really take it back. So there is that peace of mind with a new bike. You might get a better performing bike, you might get a better looking bike as well. Also, you know, it might be covered under warranty and those kinds of things. So I can see that there are a bunch of benefits to doing so. And as I said, some of the bikes that I've tested that I've really liked. I mentioned the Street Twin as one that I probably like the most out of all the bikes I tested for town riding anyway, that's for sure. But personally, I just don't think the huge list of cons, significant cons as well, justifies buying a new bike, especially over this one that I've got at the moment, which costs a couple of grand second hand, quite low mileage, so doesn't need a great deal doing at it, apart from the leaky radiator. So I posted a video yesterday where I mentioned that this bike got shoved over outside my house, and I think it's damaged the radiator. So that's your first item in the cons list, is that your bike can get damaged anytime, and that would be much more upsetting if that happened on a brand new bike than on this, which is worth a lot less. And that's part and parcel, unfortunately, of living in a city with high motorcycle crime, a lot of people around. That can happen anywhere, but especially in London, the chances of someone reversing into your bike or damaging it somehow, or just some kids messing around damaging it, you know, chances of something like that happening is quite high. So there's that. Then there's theft, which is just crazy out of control in London. And I read some stats the other day, and it said that the majority of the bikes that are stolen are like less than 3 years old. This bike's 10 years old, so I don't think it's top of the list for stealing. If you've ever had anything stolen, even like a push bike stolen, it's stressful because you kind of feel targeted, even though that's probably not true. And it costs you money, even if you're insured. Sorry. You have to pay your excess, your premium goes up as well, and that can be a massive hike. So there's that. Then there's the fact that you actually do have to pay a monthly amount as well. Although I said that 100 quid deposit and £100 a month isn't a great deal, it adds up in the long run. You know, they're still getting nearly 4 grand off you, and then you have to decide what to do at the end. Whereas I could just keep running this bike for next to nothing. And in town, like, the performance of a bike, even if I bought something more powerful or that handles better, when you're faced with this in front of you, what are your options for exploring the torque or top speed or grip of a bike. Not a lot. So that's my thoughts on it really at the moment. That might change. I might test ride a bike that I think is absolutely amazing and I must have, but you know, despite the fact that you can get some awesome bikes and you don't need a great deal of cash flow to get onto a PCP deal, the stress of it getting damaged or stolen, and the fact that the riding experience is probably pretty much the same in town, means that yeah, it's not quite worth it. But as always, I'm willing to listen to you guys, because I'm sure there's some people with new bikes out there who change them, you know, every time the PCP deal comes up for renewal. So let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see more videos like this, then click subscribe.